The rain hammered against the floor-to-ceiling windows of Castellano Tower like bullets against armor. Alina Reeves stood in the shadow of Roman Castellano's corner office, watching water streak down the glass while thunder rolled across the Seattle skyline. Her reflection stared back sharp blazer, hair pulled into a perfect chignon, the kind of controlled elegance that cost more than most people made in a month. But beneath the designer facade, her hands trembled slightly as she gripped the manila folder containing documents that could destroy everything. "The Henderson acquisition is ready for your signature," she said, her voice steady despite the chaos in her chest. 2 years as his executive assistant had taught her to mask every emotion, every traitorous flutter of her pulse when he looked at her like she was the only person in the room who mattered. Roman didn't look up from his laptop immediately. At 34, he commanded a tech empire worth billions. But sitting there in his charcoal suit with shadows playing across his angular features, he looked almost vulnerable. Almost human. "You're working late again," he finally said, his voice low, textured like expensive whiskey. "That's the 3rd night this week." "Someone has to make sure you don't burn this empire down," she replied, allowing the smallest smile. He looked up then, and the intensity in his dark eyes made her breath catch. There was always something dangerous about the way Roman looked at her, like he could see through every carefully constructed wall. "Alina." He stood, moving around the desk with the fluid grace of a predator. "How long are we going to pretend?" Her heart slammed against her ribs. "Pretend what?" "That this is just professional." He stopped inches away, close enough that she could smell his cologne, cedar, and something darker, more complex. "That you don't feel what I feel every time you walk into this room." She should step back, should maintain the distance that had kept them safe for 2 years. Instead, she held her ground. "Mr. Castellano?" "Roman," he corrected, his voice rough. "Say my name. Just once say it like I'm not your boss, like I'm just a man standing in front of a woman he can't stop thinking about." The folder slipped from her fingers, papers scattering across the marble floor. Neither of them moved to pick them up. "This is dangerous," she whispered, but her body betrayed her, swaying toward him. "I know." His hand rose, fingertips barely grazing her jaw. The touch was electric, forbidden, everything she'd denied herself wanting. "I've been trying to fight it since the day you walked into my life wearing that navy suit and looking at me like I was just another entitled rich man to manage." "You are just another entitled rich man." His lips curved into something between a smile and a grimace. "Then why does it feel like you're the only person who actually sees me?" Thunder cracked overhead, and the lights flickered. In that moment of darkness, something shifted between them. Invisible walls crumbling, careful distance collapsing. When the lights returned, Roman's hand was cupping her face, his thumb tracing her cheekbone with devastating gentleness. "Tell me to stop," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "Tell me this is wrong, that we can't cross this line. Tell me, Alina, and I'll walk away. I'll never mention it again." She should. God, she should. But instead, she heard herself say, "I can't tell you something I don't believe." The words hung in the air between them, changing everything. Roman's eyes darkened with something primal, something that made her knees weak. He leaned in, his breath warm against her lips. The office door burst open. "Roman, we have a problem." Marcus Chen, Roman's head of security, stood in the doorway, his expression grim. Behind him, 2 men in dark suits radiated danger. Roman stepped back instantly, his mask sliding into place with practiced ease. But Alina saw the frustration flash across his face, the way his jaw tightened. "This better be important, Marcus." "It is." Marcus's eyes flickered to Alina, then back to Roman. "It's about the investigation. They found something." Alina's blood turned to ice. The investigation, the one she'd been trying to keep Roman from discovering, the one that could expose secrets she'd buried deep. Roman's expression shifted, becoming the cold, calculating billionaire the business world feared. "Everyone out. Except you, Alina." Marcus hesitated. "Sir, this is classified." "She stays." The security team filed out, and the door clicked shut with a finality that felt like a death sentence. Roman turned to her slowly, and the warmth that had been in his eyes moments ago was gone, replaced by something sharp and assessing. "There's something you're not telling me," he said quietly, dangerously. Isn't there, Alina? She swallowed hard, feeling the weight of the secrets pressing down on her chest like a stone. Roman, I can explain. Can you? He picked up one of the fallen papers from the Henderson acquisition file. But his eyes weren't on the document. They were on her, searching, piercing. Because right now, I'm wondering if everything between us has been a lie. If you've been playing me from the start. No. The word came out fierce, raw. Whatever else you believe, that was real. What just happened between us that was real? Then prove it. He held out his hand. Tell me the truth, all of it. Starting with why Marcus just said your name on that encrypted file I'm not supposed to know about. The room seemed to tilt. He knew, somehow he knew. And in that moment, Alina realized she had a choice. Protect the secret that had brought her into Roman's life, or protect the man she'd fallen for despite every reason not to. She couldn't do both. I didn't come here by accident, she finally said, her voice shaking. 2 years ago when I applied for this position, I had a reason that had nothing to do with being your assistant. Roman's expression didn't change, but she saw his hand curl into a fist. Keep talking. Your company destroyed my family. The words tasted like ash. 5 years ago, Castellano Tech acquired my father's startup. You gutted it, took the patents, and left him with nothing. He lost everything, his life's work, our home, his reputation. 6 months later, he had a heart attack. He died thinking he was a failure. The silence that followed was suffocating. Roman stood perfectly still, but she saw the muscle tick in his jaw, the way his eyes went cold and distant. So this was revenge, he said flatly. Everything. The perfect assistant. The late nights. The connection I thought we had. It was all part of your plan. It was, she admitted, tears burning her eyes. But then I got to know you. The real you. The man who stays up until 3 a.m., making sure every employee has healthcare coverage. The man who donates anonymously to children's hospitals. The man who carries so much pain behind those walls that sometimes I just want to... Stop. His voice was ice. Don't stand there and tell me you care when you've been lying to me for 2 years. When you've been in my office, in my life, with the sole purpose of destroying me. I'm not trying to destroy you. She moved toward him, desperate. Roman, please, just listen. No. He stepped back, putting distance between them. You listen. I trusted you. I let you see parts of me no one else sees. And all this time, you were waiting for your moment. Collecting ammunition. It's not like that anymore. Get out. The words hit like a physical blow. Roman. Get out. Each word was precise, controlled, deadly. You're fired. Pack your things and be gone within the hour. If I ever see you in this building again, I'll have security remove you. Please, just let me explain. He turned away from her, facing the rain-streaked windows, his back rigid with fury and betrayal. There's nothing left to explain. You made your choice 2 years ago. Now I'm making mine. We're done. Whatever this was, it's over. Alina stood frozen, watching his reflection in the glass, seeing the pain beneath his anger. Pain she'd caused. She'd come here for revenge. But somewhere along the way, she'd committed the ultimate betrayal, not against him, but against herself. She'd fallen in love with Roman Castellano. And now, when it mattered most, he'd never believe it. As she walked toward the door, her vision blurred with tears. She stopped with her hand on the handle. For what it's worth, she said quietly. I love you. That part was never a lie. She didn't wait for a response, didn't look back. But as the door closed behind her, she heard the sound of something shattering glass, meeting marble in an explosion of violence and pain. And she knew that whatever came next, nothing would ever be the same. 3 weeks of silence felt like 3 years. Alina sat in her cramped apartment, rain drumming against the single window, staring at her laptop screen without seeing it. Job applications blurred together. Nothing mattered. Nothing felt real anymore. Her phone buzzed the 5th unknown number today. She'd stopped answering days ago. Reporters, probably, or worse. Word had spread fast in Seattle's tech circles. Roman Castellano's trusted assistant, gone overnight. People loved a scandal. The buzzing stopped, then immediately started again. With a frustrated sigh, she answered. Stop calling Alina Reeves. The voice was female, cold, professional. My name is Victoria Castellano. I'm Roman's mother. We need to talk. Alina's breath caught. In 2 years, she'd never met Roman's family. He kept them at a distance, spoke of them rarely and always with attention that suggested old wounds. I don't think that's appropriate. The Emerald Room at the Four Seasons. 1 hour. Come alone. The line went dead. The Emerald Room was exactly what Alina expected. Old money, quiet power, the kind of place where fortunes were made and destroyed over coffee. Victoria Castellano sat by the window in a cream Chanel suit, her silver hair swept into an elegant twist. She was beautiful in the way glaciers were beautiful cold. Dangerous, eternal, sit, not a request. Alina sat, her spine straight despite the exhaustion pulling at her bones. Victoria studied her with Roman's eyes, same dark intensity, same ability to see through pretense. You're the woman who broke my son's heart. With respect, Mrs. Castellano, I don't think. I know everything. Victoria placed a folder on the table. Your father. The acquisition. Your plan for revenge. And I know something else, something Roman doesn't. Alina's pulse quickened. What are you talking about? The acquisition that destroyed your father's company? Victoria's lips curved into something too sharp to be a smile. Roman didn't authorize it. I did. The room tilted. What? Roman was 29, still learning the business. I handled most acquisitions personally back then. Victoria sipped her coffee with maddening calm. Your father's patents were valuable. The company was failing anyway. I simply accelerated the inevitable. Roman signed the paperwork, but he never reviewed the details. He trusted me to handle it ethically. You're lying. But even as Alina said it, pieces clicked into place. Roman's confusion when she'd mentioned the acquisition. The way he'd said, I don't remember that deal. I'm many things, Miss Reeves, but I'm not a liar. Victoria leaned forward. I let my son believe it was his decision. Better he think himself ruthless than know his mother made him a weapon. Why are you telling me this? Because you're going to fix what you broke. Victoria's eyes hardened. Roman has been difficult since you left. Erratic. He fired 3 assistants in 2 weeks. He's making dangerous business decisions. He needs you back. He hates me. He loves you. Which is worse. Victoria's expression shifted, showing something almost human beneath the ice. I've watched my son build walls around his heart since he was a boy. You're the first person who made him want to tear them down. That terrifies him more than any business rival ever could. Alina shook her head, standing. I can't go back. Even if he'd let me, which he won't, I can't work for someone I'm in love with. It's too complicated. Then don't work for him. Victoria pulled out a business card. Work for me. I'm offering you a position as my personal advisor. You'll have access to Castellano Tower, full security clearance, and the ability to investigate the one thing that might make Roman forgive you. What thing? Victoria's smile turned predatory. The truth about who really wanted your father destroyed. Because, Miss Reeves, I may have executed the acquisition, but I wasn't the one who suggested it. Someone wanted your father's company dead. Someone with enough power to manipulate me into doing their dirty work. Find out who, and you'll have the ammunition you need to clear both Roman's name and your own. Alina stared at the card. Why would you help me? I'm not helping you. I'm helping my son. Victoria stood, gathering her purse with practiced elegance. You have until tomorrow to decide. After that, the offer expires, and you'll spend the rest of your life wondering if you could have saved the man you claim to love. She walked away, heels clicking against marble, leaving Alina alone with a choice that felt like standing at the edge of a cliff. That night, Alina broke into Castellano Tower. Well, broke in was generous. She still had her old security badge Roman's oversight, or maybe intentional. Either way, at 2 a.m., the executive floor was empty except for the hum of servers and the ghost of memories. She moved through Roman's office like a thief, pulling files, checking records, looking for anything about her father's acquisition. Victoria's words echoed, Someone wanted your father's company dead. Looking for something? Alina spun, heart hammering. Roman stood in the doorway, tie loosened, shirt rumpled, looking like he hadn't slept in days. His eyes were bloodshot, his jaw dark with stubble. He looked broken. Roman, I can explain. Can you? He moved into the room slowly, dangerously, because I've spent 3 weeks trying to understand how someone I trusted could lie to me so completely. And now I find you breaking into my office in the middle of the night. So please, Alina, explain. She could see it then. Beneath the anger was raw, bleeding hurt. Your mother told me something today, she said carefully, about the acquisition, about who really made the decision. Something flickered in his expression. My mother? She said you didn't know, that she handled it, and someone else suggested it. Roman, what if we were both played? What if someone wanted my father destroyed and used your company to do it? He laughed, but it was a bitter, hollow sound. So now you're spinning conspiracy theories? What's next, aliens? I know it sounds crazy. It sounds like desperation. He moved closer, and she could smell whiskey on his breath. Like you're scrambling for any excuse to justify what you did. I'm not making excuses. She grabbed his arm, forcing him to look at her. I'm trying to find the truth. The real truth. Don't you want to know? For a moment, something shifted in his eyes. Curiosity, maybe, or the faintest spark of hope. But then his walls slammed back into place. What I want, he said quietly, dangerously, is to stop caring about you. I want to look at you and feel nothing. But instead, I'm standing here at 2 a.m., knowing you broke in, and all I can think about is how much I miss you. How empty everything feels without you in it. Alina's breath caught. Roman, don't. He pulled away, running a hand through his hair. Don't say my name like that. Like you have the right to care? I do care. That's what I've been trying to tell you. Yes, I came here for revenge. Yes, I lied. But everything that happened between us, every conversation, every moment that was real, I fell in love with you. And I hate myself for it because I know I don't deserve you. But it's the truth. The silence stretched between them, thick with everything unsaid. Then Roman did something unexpected. He pulled out his phone, scrolled through something, and held it out to her. Read that. It was an email, dated 5 years ago, from someone named Jay Morrison, to Victoria Castellano. The subject line read, Reeves Tech Acquisition Urgent Opportunity. Alina's hands shook as she read. Victoria, the Reeves startup is vulnerable. Their patents are valuable, but more importantly, David Reeves has been asking questions about the Seattle project. He knows too much. We need to shut him down before he exposes what we've built. Acquisition is the cleanest option. Make it happen, and ensure Roman believes it was standard business. Jay, the phone nearly slipped from her fingers. What is this? I found it 3 days ago, Roman said, his voice hollow. I've been investigating since you left. Trying to understand. Trying to see if maybe, just maybe, you weren't entirely wrong about me. The Seattle project, Alina whispered. What is that? I don't know, but whatever it is, someone wanted your father silenced because of it. Roman met her eyes, and for the first time since she'd left, she saw something other than anger. She saw vulnerability. And whoever this Jay Morrison is, they used my company, my mother, to do it. We have to find them. No. Roman's expression hardened. I have to find them. You're going to stay away from this. It's clearly dangerous. Like hell I am. Alina stepped toward him, fire in her eyes. This is about my father. About what happened to him. You don't get to push me out now. I'm trying to protect you. I don't need protection! She was close enough now to see the gold flecks in his dark eyes, to feel the heat radiating from his body. I need the truth, we both do, and we're stronger together than apart. Roman stared at her, jaw working, clearly fighting some internal battle. Finally, he said, If we do this, if I let you back in, I need to know it's real, that you're not just here for revenge or answers, that when this is over, you're not going to disappear again. Alina reached up, cupping his face the way he'd done to her weeks ago in this very office. I'm not going anywhere, she said softly. Not unless you tell me to leave. And even then, I'm not sure I could. He closed his eyes, leaning into her touch like a man starving for comfort. You destroyed me, he whispered. When you left, you took something I didn't know I could lose. Then let me help you find it again. When he opened his eyes, they were wet with unshed tears, raw with emotion he'd clearly been holding back for weeks. I don't know if I can trust you. I know. She brushed her thumb across his cheekbone. But I'm going to spend every day proving that you can. Starting now. Starting with finding whoever Jay Morrison is and making them pay for what they did to both of us. Roman's hand came up, covering hers against his face. This is crazy. I know. We could both get hurt. Probably. And I'm still angry at you. You should be. He pulled her closer, his forehead resting against hers. But I'm also still in love with you, and I hate it, and I can't make it stop. Then don't, Alina whispered. The kiss, when it came, was nothing like the almost kiss from weeks ago. This was desperation and fury and need all tangled together. This was two people who'd hurt each other trying to find their way back through the wreckage. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Roman said, "If we're doing this finding Morrison, uncovering the truth, we do it together. No more secrets. No more lies." No more secrets, Alina agreed. But even as she said it, her phone buzzed in her pocket with a message that would change everything. Stop investigating the Seattle project. This is your only warning. Alina realized that whoever Jay Morrison was, they were watching. They'd always been watching. The Seattle project had no official records. For 5 days, Alina and Roman dug through encrypted files, old emails, offshore account transactions. They worked late into the nights, fueled by coffee and the desperate need for answers. And slowly, painfully, they learned to be around each other again. This doesn't exist, Roman muttered, rubbing his eyes as dawn broke over the city. They were in his private penthouse office, surrounded by laptops and scattered documents. A project this big, millions in funding, and there's not a single official trace. Alina paced by the windows, her mind racing. Unless it was never meant to exist officially. What if it was off books? A shadow operation? Funded by who? That's what we need to find out. She turned to him, noting the exhaustion in his features. When was the last time he'd really slept? Roman, you need rest. I'm fine. You're not. You look like someone who finally has a purpose again. He met her eyes, and something electric passed between them. Since you came back, I feel alive, even if we're chasing ghosts. The moment stretched, fragile and dangerous. Alina's phone shattered it, another unknown number. She'd been getting them constantly since the warning message. This time she answered, "Miss Reeves." The voice was digitally distorted, unrecognizable. You should have listened. Her blood turned to ice. Who is this? Someone who knows exactly where you are. Top floor of Castellano Tower. With Roman. How touching. Did you tell him about the offshore account in your name? The one with $2 million that appeared the day your father died. What? Alina's voice cracked. I don't know what your check Cayman International Bank, account number 772498163301, your name. Your signature, evidence that you were paid to destroy David Reeves's credibility before we acquired his company. That's impossible. Roman was on his feet now, watching her with growing alarm. Is it? The voice turned mocking. How do you think Roman will feel when he discovers you weren't just seeking revenge, you were complicit in your own father's destruction? That you profited from it? I never. But her voice failed. The evidence is already in motion. Roman will know everything by morning. I wonder if he'll still look at you the same way. The line went dead. Alina stood frozen, phone shaking in her hand. Alina. Roman's voice was careful, controlled. What did they say? She couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. He took the phone from her hand, checking the call history. Then he moved to his laptop, fingers flying across the keyboard. Banking portals, international accounts. Searching. Roman, I swear I don't know. Stop talking. His voice had gone cold. The warmth from moments ago evaporated like it had never existed. He found it. The account. Her name. Her forged signature. $2 million deposited 5 years ago, the day after her father died. The silence was suffocating. Roman, I didn't do this. Someone is framing me. How convenient. He stood slowly, and the look in his eyes made her want to run. Every time you're caught in a lie, there's another explanation. Another conspiracy, another reason I'm supposed to trust you despite all evidence to the contrary. This isn't real. Someone planted this, like they planted your job application, your 2 years of perfect service, your confession of revenge. His voice rose with each word. At what point, Alina, do I stop being the fool who believes you? You're not a fool, aren't I? He moved closer, towering over her with barely controlled fury. "I let you back into my life, into my head, hell, into my heart again, knowing what you'd done. And now I find out you were paid? That your father's death wasn't just a tragedy you witnessed, it was something you profited from? I didn't take that money. I didn't even know it existed." "Then explain the signature. Explain the account opened in your name with your social security number, your mother's maiden name as the security question. Explain it, Alina, because I'm running out of reasons to believe you." Tears streamed down her face. "I can't explain it. But you know me. You know I would never, do I?" He laughed bitterly. "I thought I knew you 2 years. Turns out I didn't know you at all." His phone buzzed. An email from Marcus Chen. Subject: Security footage urgent. Roman opened it, and Alina watched his face drain of color. "What is it?" He turned the screen toward her. Security footage from 5 years ago. A bank in the Cayman Islands. A woman who looked exactly like Alina, signing documents, setting up the account. "That's not me," Alina whispered. "Roman, that's not me. Look at the date. 5 years ago I was in Boston finishing my degree. I wasn't anywhere near the Caymans." But even as she said it, doubt crept in. The woman in the video had her face, her mannerisms, her signature. "Deep fake," she said desperately. "It has to be. Someone created this 5 years ago." Roman's voice was ice. "This technology barely existed 5 years ago. And even if it did, why would someone go through this much trouble to frame you unless—" He stopped, realization dawning. "Unless you were always part of this? Unless you and Morrison have been working together from the start?" "No," Alina grabbed his arm. "Roman, please, just listen." He yanked away like her touch burned. "I'm done listening. I'm done being manipulated. I'm done loving someone who sees me as nothing more than a target. I love you. How can you not see that? Because love doesn't lie." He was shouting now, raw and wounded. "Love doesn't manipulate and scheme and take blood money. Whatever this is, whatever game you and Morrison are playing, I'm out. I'm done. We're done. Roman, get out of my building. Get out of my life. And if I ever see you again, I'll have you arrested for corporate espionage, fraud, and whatever other charges my lawyers can dream up." The finality in his voice broke something inside her. "If you do this," she said quietly, "if you push me away now, Morrison wins. Don't you see? This is exactly what they want to divide us, to make you doubt me, to keep us from finding the truth. Maybe there is no truth." His eyes were dead, empty. "Maybe you are the truth, the daughter who betrayed her father for money, the assistant who seduced her boss for revenge, the woman who's been playing me from the very beginning." Each word was a knife. "I never seduced you," she whispered. "What happened between us was real. It was the only real thing in all of this." "Then I guess we're both fools." He turned away, facing the windows, his reflection ghostly in the glass. "Marcus will escort you out. Don't come back." In the parking garage, Alina sat in her car, shaking too hard to drive. Her phone buzzed. Another message from the distorted number, "Good girl. Now leave Seattle. Leave Roman. Leave this all behind, or the next evidence I release will put you in prison for the rest of your life. You have 24 hours. She stared at the message, tears blurring her vision. She could run, disappear, start over somewhere Morrison couldn't find her, or she could fight back. Her phone rang, a real call this time, from a number she didn't recognize but with a Seattle area code. "Hello? Alina Reeves?" A man's voice, older, familiar somehow. "This is Detective Chen from Seattle PD. I worked your father's case 5 years ago. I know you've been investigating the acquisition, and I think we should talk. There are things about your father's death that were never made public. Things I was ordered to keep quiet." Her pulse quickened. "What things?" "Not over the phone. Meet me at Cary Park in 1 hour. Come alone. And Miss Reeves, be careful who you trust. This goes higher than you think." The line went dead. Alina sat in the darkness of the garage, her mind racing. She could walk away, stay safe, protect herself, or she could meet Detective Chen, learn the truth about her father, risk everything for answers that might destroy her completely. But as she thought about Roman's face, the hurt in his eyes, the love he was trying so hard to deny, she knew she didn't have a choice. Some truths were worth dying for. She started the car, Cary Park was empty at 3 a.m., just the glittering sprawl of Seattle below and the weight of secrets above. Alina stood by the railing, wind whipping her hair, waiting. "Miss Reeves." She turned. The man approaching was in his 60s, Asian American, with tired eyes that had seen too much. He held a manila folder. "Detective Chen? Retired now. But I never forgot your father's case. Bothered me for years." He handed her the folder. "This is everything I wasn't allowed to include in the official report. Emails, phone records, evidence that David Reeves was murdered." The world tilted. Murdered. He had a heart attack. Induced. Toxicology found traces of a compound that mimics cardiac arrest. By the time I flagged it, I was told to bury it. Orders from the top. Someone very powerful wanted your father dead, and the investigation closed. Alina's hand shook as she opened the folder. Inside were documents about the Seattle Projecta classified government program, military applications, contracts worth hundreds of millions, and there, on a list of project stakeholders, was a name that made her blood run cold. Victoria Castellano, primary investor. "Roman's mother," she breathed. "She wasn't working alone," Chen said. "Look at the other names." Her eyes scanned down, and there it was. Judge Jennifer Morrison, Legal Oversight J. Morrison. Morrison is a federal judge? Alina's voice was hollow. "One of the most powerful in the country. She oversees all classified tech contracts. If she wanted to hide something, she could make it disappear completely." Chen's expression was grim. "Your father discovered that the Seattle project was being used to funnel money to offshore accounts. He was going to expose the whole operation. Morrison and Victoria couldn't let that happen." Alina felt sick. "So they killed him and framed you to keep you quiet. That account, the deepfake, all manufactured to ensure that if you got too close to the truth, they could destroy your credibility. Does Roman know about his mother's involvement?" Chen shook his head. "I doubt it. Victoria has kept him in the dark about her government contracts. But if you tell him, he'll never believe me. Not after tonight. Then you have a choice to make." Chen's eyes were kind but serious. "Walk away, stay alive, and let the truth die with your father. Or fight back, knowing it might cost you everything, including the man you love." Before Alina could respond, headlights flooded the park. Black SUVs, 3 of them. Screeching to a halt, Chen's face went white. "Run, now!" "What? They followed you, run!" Men in tactical gear poured out of the vehicles. Chen shoved her toward the trees, toward darkness and safety. "Get the folder to Roman. Make him understand. It's the only—" A shot rang out. Chen crumpled. Alina screamed, but hands were already grabbing her, dragging her back. She fought, kicking, clawing. The folder clutched against her chest. Then a voice, cold and elegant. Cut through the chaos. "Enough." Victoria Castellano stepped out of the lead SUV, immaculate as always, a gun held loosely in her hand. "Hello, Alina. I believe you have something that belongs to me." The tactical team held Alina in a grip like iron. Victoria approached slowly, each step measured, deliberate. In the distance, Detective Chen lay still, blood pooling beneath him in the moonlight. "You killed him," Alina said, her voice shaking with rage and terror. "I killed a man who couldn't follow simple instructions." Victoria's expression remained cold, just like I'm about to deal with a woman who should have walked away when given the chance. "Roman will find out. When I disappear, he'll know. He'll know you ran." Victoria smiled, sharp as broken glass. "He'll receive evidence that you fled the country with stolen company funds. By morning, you'll be wanted for fraud and embezzlement. By next week, you'll be forgotten." "The folder," one of the men said. "She's got it." Victoria's eyes flickered to the manila folder clutched against Alina's chest. "The detective's insurance policy. How quaint. Give it to me, and I'll make this quick. Refuse, and I'll ensure your mother in Portland has a very unfortunate accident." Alina's blood froze. "You wouldn't— I killed your father, didn't I?" Victoria's tone was conversational, almost bored. "What's one more Reeves? Though I admit, I'm tired of cleaning up this particular mess. You were supposed to be controllable. A grief-stricken daughter, easily manipulated with the promise of revenge. Instead, you did the one thing I didn't anticipate. What? You made my son feel something. For the first time, emotion cracked through Victoria's facade, something dark and possessive. Roman was safe when he felt nothing, when he focused only on business, on building empires, on being the ruthless heir I raised him to be. But you made him soft, vulnerable, human. Because he is human. He's your son, not a weapon. Victoria laughed, cold and hollow. My son is whatever I made him to be, and I won't let some girl with daddy issues undo 30 years of careful construction. Now give me the folder. Alina's mind raced. If she gave up the folder, the evidence died with Chen. If she refused, Victoria would kill her and her mother both. Unless... Roman knows. She lied, her voice steady despite her terror. I called him before I came here. Told him everything. About you. About Morrison. About the Seattle project. He's probably already gone to the police. Something flickered in Victoria's expression. Doubt. Concern. You're lying. Am I? Alina pushed harder. You said it yourself. I changed him. Made him capable of feeling, of trusting. He trusted me enough to believe me when I said you were involved. He's probably at a police station right now, turning over evidence. Victoria's phone rang. She answered, eyes never leaving Alina. What? When? Find him. Now. She lowered the phone, and for the first time, Alina saw genuine worry on the woman's face. Roman left the tower 20 minutes ago. His security team doesn't know where he went. Victoria's jaw tightened. What did you tell him? Everything, Alina said, praying the lie was convincing. Your involvement in the Seattle project. The murder, Morrison, all of it. And if anything happens to me, he'll know exactly who to blame. For a long moment, Victoria stood frozen, weighing options, calculating risks. Then she made her decision. Take her to the warehouse. Keep her alive until we know what Roman does. If he goes to the police, kill her and make it look like suicide. If not, Victoria's smile returned, colder than before, we'll have a more permanent conversation about loyalty. The men dragged Alina toward the SUVs. She fought, screaming, but no one was around to hear. The folder slipped from her hands, documents scattering across the pavement. Victoria picked them up methodically, her expression unreadable. Such a waste, she murmured. You could have had everything, Alina, my son. A fortune, a life, but you chose truth instead. I hope it was worth it. The warehouse was abandoned, reeking of oil and rust. They tied Alina to a chair in a windowless room, one guard stationed outside. Hours passed. Or maybe minutes. Time lost meaning in the darkness. Her phone was gone. Her only hope was that someone, Roman, the police, anyone, would find Chen's body and piece together what happened. But why would Roman look? As far as he knew, she was a liar. A conspirator. Someone who profited from her father's death. She'd lost him, and now she'd probably lost her life too. The door opened. Alina's head snapped up, expecting Victoria or one of the guards. Instead, Marcus Chen Roman's head of security stepped inside. Marcus? Hope flared. Thank God you have to help me. I know. His expression was grim as he moved to untie her. Roman sent me. Though if Victoria finds out I'm helping you, we're both dead. Roman sent you? Alina's voice cracked. But he hates me. He thinks a lot of things. But after you left, he couldn't stop thinking about what you said, about being framed. So he started digging. Marcus freed her wrists, then her ankles. He found discrepancies in the bank records, evidence of digital manipulation. And then Detective Chen's body was discovered in Cary Park, with Roman's mother's fingerprints on the shell casing. Alina's hands shook as feeling returned to them. Victoria was careless. Victoria was confident. She's been untouchable for so long, she stopped being careful. Marcus helped her stand. Roman's with Judge Morrison now, confronting her with the evidence. If it works, Morrison and Victoria both go to prison. Alina grabbed his arm. And if it doesn't, then we're all dead. Marcus pulled out a gun, handing it to her. Can you use this? I'm not shooting anyone. You might not have a choice. Victoria has a team searching for us. We need to move, now. They made it to the warehouse exit before gunfire erupted. Marcus shoved Alina behind a concrete pillar, returning fire at the shadows pursuing them. Go! There's a car outside, keys in the ignition. I'm not leaving you. Roman will never forgive me if you die.
Go! More gunfire!
Marcus went down, clutching his shoulder. Alina's training years of self-defense classes her father insisted on kicked in. She grabbed the gun, fired twice at the advancing guards, more to cover Marcus than to hit anyone. Then hands were on her, dragging Marcus up. Move, both of you! Roman. He was there, materializing from the shadows with his own security team, looking like an avenging angel in his torn suit and wild eyes. You came, Alina breathed. Did you think I wouldn't? He didn't look at her, focused on getting them to safety. After everything, did you really think I'd let my mother kill you? They ran, bullets pinging off metal, sirens wailing in the distance. Police. Finally. Victoria's voice cut through the chaos, amplified and desperate. Roman, son, listen to me. I'm not your son. Roman's voice was ice. Not anymore. He kept moving, dragging Alina and supporting Marcus between his other guards. They burst into the night air just as police cars surrounded the warehouse, FBI agents, dozens of them. Roman Castellano? A woman in a badge and tactical vest approached. We need you to make a statement. About Victoria Castellano and Judge Morrison. Morrison, Alina gasped. You got her? Roman finally looked at her, and the emotion in his eyes made her knees weak. I recorded everything. Her confession. Her orders to have your father killed. All of it. She thought I was there to negotiate. Instead, I got her to implicate herself and my mother in a federal conspiracy. You risked your life. I risked everything. He moved closer, his hand coming up to cup her face despite the blood and chaos around them. Because I realized something tonight. When Marcus told me you'd been taken, that my mother was going to kill you, I realized I'd rather die than live in a world without you in it. Tears streamed down Alina's face. Roman, I'm so sorry. About your mother, about everything. My mother made her choices. She killed your father. She tried to kill you. Whatever happens to her, she earned it. His thumb brushed away her tears. But you've been fighting for the truth from the beginning. I should have trusted that, trusted you. I gave you every reason not to. And I should have looked past the reasons to see who you really are. He pulled her closer, his forehead resting against hers. Someone brave, someone loyal, someone willing to sacrifice everything for the people she loves. I do love you, she whispered. Even though it's complicated and messy and probably insane, it's not insane. His lips curved into the smallest smile. It's the only thing that makes sense. Behind them, FBI agents led Victoria Castellano out of the warehouse in handcuffs. She looked small suddenly, diminished, her carefully constructed power crumbling around her. Her eyes found Roman's. Son, please. I did this for us, for the family, you did this for yourself. Roman's voice was flat, final, and now you'll pay for it. Every murder, every lie, every life you destroyed, including my father's. Victoria's face crumpled. Your father was weak, just like you're becoming. No. Roman straightened, his arm still around Alina. He was human, and so am I. That's not weakness. It's what you never understood. As they led Victoria away, Alina felt something release inside her years of anger, of pain, of carrying the weight of her father's death. It's over, she said softly. Not quite. Roman turned to her, his expression serious. There's still one thing we need to settle. Her heart stuttered. What? I fired you. Technically, you don't work for me anymore. Oh. Disappointment crashed through her. Right. So I was thinking. He pulled a small box from his pocket, and Alina's breath stopped. Maybe instead of rehiring you as my assistant, I could hire you for a different position. Something more permanent. More personal. Roman, what are you? He opened the box. A ring. Simple, elegant, perfect. Marry me, he said quietly. Not because it makes sense, or because it's logical, or because either of us planned this. Marry me because you're the only person who's ever made me want to be better. Because you fight for truth even when it costs you everything. Because I'm completely, irrationally, permanently in love with you. Alina stared at him, at the ring, at the future suddenly spreading before them like dawn. We've known each other for 2 years, and most of that time I was lying to you, she said. This is crazy. I know. Your mother just got arrested. Your family empire is probably going to implode. You're about to be at the center of the biggest scandal in Seattle history. I know. And you want to marry me? Now, I want to marry you always. His eyes held hers, steady and sure. But if now works for you, I'll take it. Alina laughed through her tears, the sound breaking free like a bird from a cage. Yes, she said. Yes, I'll marry you, even though it's insane, even though we're probably both going to need therapy, even though he kissed her, and the world fell away. When they broke apart, both breathing hard, Alina rested her head against his chest, listening to his heartbeat. Strong, real, hers. What happens now? She asked. Now? Roman's arms tightened around her. Now we rebuild, together, no more secrets, no more lies, just us, figuring out how to be human together. I'd like that. Good. He pressed a kiss to her hair. Because you're stuck with me now. For better or worse. Definitely worse, she teased, pulling back to look at him. Have you met your family? He laughed, the sound rusty but genuine. Fair point. But at least my mother's going to prison. That's something. Silver lining. Always. He took her hand, sliding the ring onto her finger. It fit perfectly. Ready to face whatever comes next? Alina looked at the ring, at Roman, at the life they were about to build from the ashes of everything they'd lost. With you, she smiled. I'm ready for anything. But as they walked toward the police cars to give their statements, neither of them noticed the figure watching from the shadows. A woman with Judge Morrison's face, who should have been in custody but somehow wasn't. She pulled out a phone, dialing a number from memory. They think they won, she said quietly. Time to show them how wrong they are. The game wasn't over. It was just beginning. 6 months later, the pieces still hadn't settled. Alina stood in the renovated office that used to be Roman's corner suite, watching Seattle wake up beneath a rare golden sunrise. The city looked different now. Softer, less like a battlefield and more like home. Behind her, Roman worked at the conference table, laptop open, coffee growing cold. They'd moved his office to a smaller floor, donated the executive suite to a nonprofit for underprivileged youth. Victoria's legacy, transformed into something that actually helped people. You're doing it again, Roman said without looking up. Doing what? Thinking too loudly. I can hear your brain spinning from here. Alina smiled, crossing to sit beside him. The engagement ring caught the light, still feeling foreign and wonderful on her finger. I was thinking about Morrison. Roman's expression darkened. Judge Jennifer Morrison had escaped custody during transport 6 months ago. Despite FBI manhunts and international warrants, she'd vanished like smoke. She's gone, Alina. Probably in some country without extradition, living on money she stole from the Seattle Project. Or she's still here. Still watching, even if she is. He took her hand, intertwining their fingers. We're ready. We survived Victoria. We survived the investigation. We'll survive whatever comes next. The investigation had been brutal. Federal prosecutors, media scrutiny, depositions that lasted days. Victoria Castellano was serving 30 years for conspiracy to commit murder, fraud, and a dozen other charges. The Seattle Project had been exposed as a massive money laundering scheme disguised as military research. Dozens of powerful people had fallen, and through it all, Roman and Alina had stood together. Mr. Castellano? Mira, the new assistant, poked her head in. Young, brilliant, fiercely loyal, everything Alina had pretended to be but genuine. Your mother's attorney is online too. Roman's jaw tightened. Tell him I'm not interested in appeals or negotiations. It's not about that. Mira's expression was uncertain. He says Victoria wants to talk to Alina, directly. It's urgent. Alina and Roman exchanged glances. It's a trap, he said immediately. Probably. Alina stood. But she's in a maximum security prison. What can she really do? You don't have to talk to her. I know. She touched his face gently. But I think I need to. For closure. The visiting room at Federal Correctional Institution SeaTac was exactly as depressing as expected. Gray walls, reinforced glass, guards stationed at every exit. Victoria Castellano looked smaller than Alina remembered. Prison jumpsuit instead of designer suits, hair pulled back without the elegant styling. But her eyes, those remained sharp, calculating. "Dangerous. You came," Victoria said through the phone, surprise evident in her voice. "Against my better judgment." Alina sat, keeping her expression neutral. "What do you want?" "To warn you." "About what?" "Your escape plan? Because I'm pretty sure you're not going anywhere." "Not me." Victoria leaned forward. "Jennifer Morrison. I know where she is." Alina's pulse quickened. "You're lying." "I wish I were." For the first time, Victoria looked genuinely worried. "She contacted me 3 days ago, taunting me, blaming me for getting caught while she remained free. And then she told me her plan." "What plan?" "She's going to kill my son." Victoria's voice cracked. "She's going to kill Roman, and she's going to make it look like suicide. Like the guilt over what I did finally broke him, and there's nothing I can do to stop it from in here." Alina's blood ran cold. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because despite everything, despite how much I hate what you've done to Roman, making him soft and vulnerable, you're the only person who can protect him now." Victoria's eyes glistened with unshed tears. "I destroyed your father. I tried to destroy you. But Roman is my son, the only thing in this world I ever actually loved. If Morrison kills him, please, don't let that happen." "Why would Morrison target Roman? He helped bring her down. It's over." "It's not over until we're all dead." Victoria pulled out a piece of paper, pressing it to the glass. "She sent this. Read it." Alina squinted at the handwritten note. "Victoria, you took everything from Memi career, my reputation, my freedom. So I'm going to take the only thing you care about. Roman dies on November 15th. You'll watch the news from your cell and know you couldn't save him, just like David Reeves couldn't save himself. November 15th today, oh my God." Alina was already standing, already running. "Why didn't you tell someone sooner?" I tried. "The guards think it's manipulation. The FBI thinks it's a trick. No one will listen to me." Victoria's voice rose, desperate. "But you, Roman will listen to you. Get him somewhere safe. Somewhere Morrison can't find him." "Please, Alina, please." Alina didn't wait for more. She ran. The drive back to Castellano Tower was a blur of traffic and terror. She called Roman 50 times. No answer. Called Mira, straight to voicemail. Called Marcus, still recovering from his gunshot wound. He answered on the first ring. "Alina? Where's Roman? I need to know right now. He's in the office." "Why? What's wrong?" "Morrison is in Seattle. She's planning to kill him today. I need you to get to him before—" "I'm already here. At the tower. I'll go to him right now." The line went dead. Alina's hands shook on the steering wheel. She was still 20 minutes away. 20 minutes too far. She dialed 911, reporting a credible threat, giving them everything she knew. But would it be enough? She made it to the tower in 15 minutes, breaking every traffic law. Burst through security, past the front desk, into the elevator. The ride up felt like eternity. When the doors opened on Roman's floor, everything looked normal. Mira at her desk, typing calmly. The hallway empty. No signs of danger. "Where's Roman?" Alina demanded. Mira looked up, startled. "In his office. He's on a call." Alina ran. The office doors were closed. She threw them open and found Roman sitting at his desk, very much alive, looking confused. "Alina? What? Thank God." She sagged against the doorframe, relief making her dizzy. "I thought Morrison sent a threat." "She said today. She said she was going to— I know." A woman's voice, cold and familiar. Alina spun. Judge Jennifer Morrison stood in the corner of the office, a gun pointed at Roman's head. She looked different, shorter hair, different clothes, aged by months on the run, but the cold calculation in her eyes remained unchanged. "Hello, Alina. So good of you to join us for the finale." "How did you get in here?" Alina's voice shook. "I've been here for hours, hiding, waiting." Morrison smiled. "Security is good, but I'm better. And poor Mira out there has headphones on, listening to music. She has no idea what's happening." Roman sat perfectly still, his eyes locked on Alina. She could see him calculating. Planning, looking for an opening, Morrison. Listen. Alina moved slowly into the room. You don't want to do this, don't I? The judge's laugh was bitter. I lost everything because of you two. My career, my reputation, my freedom. I'm living in cheap motels, moving every few days, always looking over my shoulder. While you... Her voice turned venomous. You get to play happy couple, planning your wedding, building your life, on the ashes of mine. You did this to yourself, Roman said quietly. You killed people. You broke the law. I protected important interests. I maintained order. I did what was necessary. Morrison's hand shook, the gun wavering. But no one sees that. They only see the fall. The scandal. The woman who went from federal judge to fugitive. So this is revenge. Alina took another step forward. Killing Roman makes you feel better? Killing Roman destroys Victoria's last hope. It breaks you. It evens the score. Morrison steadied the gun. And yes, it makes me feel better. Then kill me instead. Alina's voice was steady despite her terror. Roman didn't do anything. He was just trying to uncover the truth. Let him go and take me. I'm the one who started all this. I'm the one who investigated. I'm the one you really want. Alina, don't. Roman started to rise. Stay down, Morrison barked, refocusing the gun on him. She's right, Alina continued, moving to put herself between Morrison and Roman. You want revenge? Take it from me, but let him live, please. Morrison studied her, eyes narrowed. You love him? More than anything. Even though he's Victoria's son, even though his family destroyed yours, he's not his mother. He's better than all of us. Alina's voice cracked. And if you kill him, you're no better than Victoria. You're just another monster creating more pain. For a long moment, Morrison stood frozen, the gun pointed at Alina's chest. Then her hand lowered slightly. You're brave. Foolish, but brave, maybe. The office door exploded inward. FBI agents flooded the room. Weapons drawn, shouting commands. Morrison spun. Raising her gun, multiple shots fired. The judge crumpled. Blood blooming across her chest. Roman lunged forward, pulling Alina behind the desk as agents secured the scene. She couldn't breathe, couldn't think, could only hold on to Roman like he was the only solid thing in a tilting world. It's over, he whispered against her hair. It's really over. The FBI had been tracking Morrison for months, following leads that finally brought them to Seattle. Victoria's warning had given them the final peacetiming, location, target. They'd been stationed in the building, waiting for Morrison to make her move. Alina sat in the back of an ambulance, shock blanket around her shoulders, watching paramedics load Morrison's body into another vehicle. The judge had died instantly. No suffering. Quick. Clean. More mercy than she'd given Alina's father. Hey. Roman sat beside her, his arm wrapping around her shoulders. You okay? I offered to die for you. She looked at him, still processing. I was ready to die for you. I know. His voice was rough with emotion. And I would have done the same for you. That's what love is, Alina. Being willing to sacrifice everything for the person who matters most. Your mother. Saved your life. Ironically. Roman shook his head. I never thought I'd owe her anything again. But she warned you. That counts for something. Will you visit her? He was quiet for a long moment. Maybe, eventually, not for her, for me, to try to understand how someone can love something and still destroy everything around it. She loved you in her own way. A broken way, a toxic way. He pulled Alina closer. But I don't have to repeat that pattern. I can choose to love you differently, healthily, with honesty and trust and therapy, Alina added with a weak smile. So much therapy, he laughed, the sound breaking the tension. Yeah, so much therapy. They sat in silence, watching the chaos slowly organize into order. Police tape, witness statements, the machinery of justice grinding forward. Do you think we can be normal now? Alina asked quietly. After everything? I don't think we were ever meant to be normal. Roman tilted her face toward his. But we can be happy. We can be honest. We can be together. That's enough for me. For me too. He kissed her, soft and gentle. A promise of all the tomorrows they'd almost lost. 3 months later, they got married. Not a big ceremony, neither of them wanted that. Just a small gathering on the coast, with Marcus as Roman's best man and Mira as Alina's maid of honor. The ocean crashed against the rocks below, wind whipping through the simple white tent. "You look beautiful," Roman said as they stood together, hands clasped, the efficient reading words about love and commitment and choosing each other every day. "You're biased." "Completely." He smiled, that rare, genuine smile that still made her heart stutter. "But I'm also right." When it came time for vows, Alina spoke first. "I came into your life for all the wrong reasons. I lied to you. I hurt you. I almost got us both killed." She squeezed his hands. "But somewhere in the middle of all that chaos, I found something I didn't know I was looking for: a partner. Someone who sees me, all of me, the broken and the brave parts, and loves me anyway. I can't promise our life will be easy, but I can promise I'll fight for us. Every single day." Roman's eyes were bright with unshed tears. "I spent 34 years building walls," he said, "protecting myself from feeling too much, caring too much, being too human. And then you walked into my office in that navy suit, and every wall I'd ever built started crumbling. You make me want to be better. You make me want to be real. And even when it hurts, especially when it hurts, I choose you. I choose us. I choose this messy, complicated, absolutely perfect love we've built from the ruins of everything we lost." The officiant declared them married, and when they kissed, Alina tasted salt tears. Hers or his, she didn't know. Didn't matter. They were partners now, in everything. That night, in a hotel room overlooking the ocean, Alina lay in Roman's arms, listening to his heartbeat. "Do you think about them?" she asked quietly. "Your mother, Morrison? Everything we lost?" "Sometimes." His fingers traced patterns on her shoulder. "But mostly I think about what we gained. Each other. A chance to start over. A future without all that poison in it." "Victoria asked to see me again. Her lawyer called yesterday." Roman stiffened slightly. "What did she want?" "To apologize. To say goodbye, I think. She knows we're not visiting anymore. That you've moved on." "And what did you tell the lawyer?" "I said I'd think about it." Alina turned to look at him. "I know it's complicated, but she did save our lives in the end. Maybe I owe her closure." "You don't owe her anything." But Roman's voice was soft, not angry. "But if you want to go, to find peace in that, I'll support you. Whatever you need. I love you." The words still felt new, still carried weight. "I love you too." He kissed her forehead, now and always. 2 weeks later, Alina sat across from Victoria again, separated by glass and guilt and everything that had happened. "You came," Victoria said, surprise evident. "I came." Alina took a breath. "Not for you, for me. Because carrying hate is exhausting, and I want to be free of it." Victoria nodded slowly. "I don't expect forgiveness." "Good, because I can't give it." Alina held the older woman's gaze. "But I can give you truth. Roman is happy. We're married. We're building something good from the wreckage you and Morrison left behind. And your son, the one you tried so hard to make into a weapon, he's the kindest, most human person I know. Despite you, not because of you." Tears spilled down Victoria's cheeks. "That's all I needed to hear. That he's okay. That he found happiness. Even if it's in spite of me. He's more than okay. He's everything." Alina stood. "This is the last time I'm coming here. The last time we speak. I hope you find whatever peace you can in the years you have left. But Roman and I were done looking back. We're only moving forward now." Victoria nodded, wiping her eyes. "Thank you. For loving my son better than I did. For being what he needed when I failed him." Alina walked away without looking back. That evening, she found Roman on their apartment balcony, looking out over Seattle as the sun set in shades of gold and crimson. "How did it go?" he asked. "It went." She wrapped her arms around him from behind. She cried. "I told her you were happy. I said goodbye. Are you okay?" "Yeah." And surprisingly she was. "I think I am. It's strange. I spent so long carrying anger about what happened to my father, and now it's just grief. Clean grief. Not mixed up with revenge or justice or anything else. Just missing him. That's healing." Roman turned, pulling her close. Messy, painful healing. But healing. When did you get so wise? I married a smart woman. Some of it rubbed off. She laughed, the sound carrying into the evening air. They stood there as the city lights flickered on. Two people who'd found each other in the worst circumstances and chosen to build something beautiful anyway. Do you think it's really over? Alina asked. All of it? I think, Roman considered. I think some stories don't get neat endings. But I also think we survive the worst parts. Whatever comes next, we face it together. Together, Alina agreed. And as the stars began to appear, scattered across the darkening sky, they made the same silent promise they made every day, to choose love over fear, to choose truth over lies, to choose each other, always, no matter what storms might come. Because some loves are worth fighting for. Some loves are worth surviving for, and theirs forged in fire, tested by betrayal, strengthened by sacrifice, was exactly that kind of love, the kind that lasts, the kind that transforms, the kind that, despite everything, gets to live. The end.